In this video, I'm going to break down lesson 2 from our functions topic, relations, talking about ordered pairs, tables, graphing, and mapping diagrams. So this practice just gave you a graph with a bunch of ordered pairs, and it wants you to represent the relations in the relation in 3 different ways. The first being a set of ordered pairs, the second being a table, and last but not least, a mapping diagram. So, given this graph, and this is why we had to go over plotting points and being able to read points, because now it's easy. We're just going to identify each and every point that we see here. So I'm going to kind of put, I'm going to use orange so you can see it stand out on the graph, and I'm just going to put a dot on the one I'm labeling at the moment until we have all of them with orange. So that's our first one. So remember, we start at the origin, 0, 0, and to plot that point that I have in orange, I'm going to travel left 2 and up 3. So that's going to be the ordered pair, -2, 3. Now, because I'm giving you a set of ordered pairs, I'm going to separate it with a comma, and I'm going to use that set notation with that big bracket. Now, I'm going to go right below it. You're going to see me put an orange dot on the next point I'm labeling. It's still going to the left 2, but now we're going down. So that looks like we're going left 2 and down 4. Remember, we travel left or right first, up or down second. If you travel to the left, that is a negative direction. If you travel down, that is a negative direction. Okay? All right, the next point I am going to identify, I just put an orange dot, and it's right on that y-axis. So I'm actually not going to travel right or left anything. So that's going to be the x value 0. And then I'm just traveling down, it looks like 6. So that's going to be -6. Next is this guy right here that I just put a dot on. That is on the x-axis. So it looks to me that we are traveling to the right one, so that's going to be +1. And then we are not traveling up or down anything, so it would just be 0. The next guy is going to be this dot here. It looks to me that we have to travel to the right 5. And then we are going to go down 4, so that's going to give us the ordered pair 5, -4. And I just ran out of room there. You know what I'm going to actually do? I'm going to actually, just move it over a little bit. There we go. And the last point, we are traveling all the way over to 7. And we're traveling up to 6. So it's going to be the ordered pair 7, 6. And then I'm going to close off that set. So that is our relation in terms of a set of ordered pairs. And I think it's easiest to write your ordered pairs first, because now making the table and the mapping diagram is going to be a piece of cake. Okay? So for our table, and I'm just going to scooch this down a little bit, we are making an XY table, and so I'm going to make that table. I did not provide you with a diagram, so I'm just going to do that. And remember, my rule of thumb is to put the X values in order from least to greatest. And the good news is I worked left to right on my ordered pairs when I went to write them. So the X values, if you take a look at them, -2, -2, 0, 1, 5, 7. Those X values are already in order from least to greatest. Now, we have 2 X values of -2. So if you want to really be impressive here, now we're going to order those 2. So I'm looking at just those 2 based off of the Y values and which Y is smaller. So I'm going to do -2, -4. I'm going to put that ordered pair first. I'll put a little check mark so we know we used it. And then I'm going to do -2, 3, that guy. So really, it matters if your X values are in order from least to greatest. I was just being a little extra there, putting those Y's in order as well. And now I'm going to write the next ordered pair, 0, -6, We're not doing a mapping diagram, so the x value and y value that are in parentheses should both be on the left and right hand side next to each other in your table. Then we have 1, 0, 5, -4, and 7, 6. So do notice here that in our table, our y values aren't necessarily going to be in order from least to greatest because they're buddying up with that x value that they matched with or that they went with in their ordered pair, okay? So what matters is that our x is in order from least to greatest. Last but not least, we're going to make a mapping diagram. So once again, I'm going to scooch this down a little bit. We're going to draw 2 big ovals here. I don't like that one. And here's the good news. You already have your x values in order from least to greatest. So I'm just going to build off of that. I'm going to say, okay, here we only put each value one time. So we have -2 for 2 ordered pairs, but we're only going to need to write it one time. Okay, so we used that x value. Then, once again, we already have them in order from least to greatest. 0, 1, 5, 7. Okay, now this is where it differentiates from a table. So the first way it differentiates from a table is that you only put the x values one time, okay? Whereas the table, you had 2 ordered pairs with an x value of -2. You put both of those -2s twice, or each separate. Now, we want to put the y values in order from least to greatest. So we're not just going to say, oh, let's just work in the order that goes with the x. So we're going to look at what I highlighted in green, and I see that the y value -6 is the smallest. So I'm going to put that first. And then I see that there are 2 -4s for the y values, and I'm only going to put one of them. We do not repeat values in our mapping diagram. Okay, I then see 0, and see how I like to just cross things off to make sure I covered it all, 3 and 6. Okay. Now, this is what makes it a mapping diagram. We are going to basically connect our x's with their y's. It goes -2, 3. So I'm going to draw my line from -2 to +3. It maps to the 3, okay? -2 also goes with the y value -4. So -2 is going to have another line going to -4. We map it to all of its y values, okay? 0 maps with -6, so I'm looking at the third ordered pair, and I see 0 mapping with -6, so I'm going to draw a line from 0 to -6. 1 maps to 0, so I'm going to draw a line from 1 to 0. 5 maps with -4, another number that's mapping with -4. And then 7 maps with 6. So it is okay that your lines are kind of all zigzag. They should not just go straight across like this. This means that 9 times out of 10, you did not put your numbers in order from least to greatest. So for a mapping diagram, we want to put the x values in order from least to greatest and list no repeats. And our y values, we want to put them in order and list no repeats. A table is different because we put the x's, if we see them more than once, we put them more than once. And then we don't worry about the y's. We make sure that they buddy up exactly with their ordered pairs next to each other. Okay? So that is how we would label or create relations and write them in the different languages of an ordered pair, a set of ordered pairs, a table, and a mapping diagram. Awesome job. Keep up the great work.